What's up guys, it is me George from GameLad75 and welcome to my updated review of my Brazilian squad. Last time we looked at my squad and it had a few different players, but now I've made some better additions to the team. As you can see, I've got Neymar, Ramirez, Marcelo and Maicon. Now I'm just going to run through the team again and give you a bit of a rundown on how they play and whatnot. So I've got them in the 4-1-2-1-2 formation, which I think is the best formation for a Brazilian team. I know it's the most expensive formation you can get out there, but it is incredibly effective with these players. They work really well. They've got a very high work rate and they manage to keep their fitness up quite well. So let's go on to our first player. We have Arthur Marias, the goalkeeper. Now there's two... Oh, that's Maicon. Whoops. Marias, yeah. So there's two main goalkeepers I tend to see when playing against other Brazilian teams on Ultimate Team. That is Diego Alves and Arthur Marias. Now, Diego Alves has got very high stats in diving and reflexes, but he lacks a little bit in handling and the other stats. But I tend to prefer to have Marias because he's more consistent throughout the stats. So as you can see, he's in the 80s and 70s in a lot of his stats, which is quite good, and it really does pay off in the game. Whereas Diego Alves is only good in a few areas and lacks behind in some others. Arthur Marias is now worth about 1,200 coins. And you could probably pick him up for a little less, but that's the general price boundaries I'm going to be giving you for all these players. So moving on to right back, we have a change in this position. We have Maicon of Manchester City. Maicon is an incredibly good player on FIFA. 85 pace, 80 dribbling. Generally a very good player, as you can see by the stats. You could probably get away with playing him in a variety of different positions. He gets up and down the pitch really well and links up nicely with Hulk, which is really quite important. And yeah, he's generally a really good player, and I'd definitely recommend him if you have the money. You can probably pick Maicon up for about 38k, 35k in this formation. Yeah, definitely worth it. And I would definitely get him if you have the money. Moving on to our centre-back positions, we have Felipe Santana. Definitely an excellent player. Don't think that makes much sense. Definitely excellent, but oh well. Santana is an excellent player and links up really well with Dede, and they work very well as a centre-back partnership. Pace 81 and defending 77, heading 84. Very good player. And you know, we'll be able to keep up with any striker really. So definitely recommend him. He could also fit into a German team if you're looking to make a German team, because he plays for Borussia Dortmund. So you could make quite a nice little German team with him. Santana's around 4,200 coins in the 4-1-2-1-2 formation. So I'd definitely recommend him for your Brazilian squad. If you've got a little bit more, then I'd probably recommend you to get Thiago Silva, who's about 100k at the moment. So yeah, if you want someone else a little bit better than Santana, then you can get Thiago Silva. Moving on to our next centre-back, we have Dede in the 4-1-2-1-2 formation. 81 pace, 81 defending, 82 heading. Little bit better than Santana, and you can really does show in the games you play with him. Again, they're very similar. They link up very well, and they manage to keep their fitness quite high, which is very helpful for centre-backs. Dede is around 4k, 3,500k. You know, I would definitely recommend these two as centre-back partnership. They're quite cheap as well, like I read out there, so definitely recommend him. Left back, we have a change in this department. We have Marcelo, very similar to Maicon, not quite as big as Maicon, but is equally as good. It can get up and down the pitch nice and easily, and Marcelo works especially well with Nene, our left midfielder. They overlap, and it really works well. They have a good connection, and you can, you know, overlap with them because Nene's pace isn't brilliant, so you can just swing a ball in with Marcelo and, you know, get your striker's head on the end of that. 83 pace, 83 dribbling. He used to be a 4-star skiller in FIFA 12, but they've put him down to 3-star, I believe now. So yeah, you can pick him up for about 22k, which is quite cheap for a player of this quality, and definitely recommend him if you're making a Brazilian team. Moving on to our central defensive mid position, we have Ramirez of Chelsea. 88 pace, 82 dribbling. Generally very nice stats for a defensive midfield, everything you really want. Now, I know I said last time we done this Brazilian squad review that we had Felipe Melo. Now, Felipe Melo is a very good player. He's very cheap as well, and I'd definitely recommend him if you're on a bit of a budget. But Ramirez isn't much more. He's about 5k, but I thought Ramirez was a little bit better, so he can keep up with pacey attackers, whereas Melo could not do so well in. But yeah, I'll definitely recommend Ramirez. He's a very good player. One slight flaw in his game is that his fitness drops considerably more than any other player. Maybe that's because he's tearing around the pitch, hunting down the attackers. I don't know, but maybe his stamina's a little bit low. Moving on to our right mid position, we have Hulk. Hulk is an incredibly good player. Last time I said that he isn't really doing too well for my team. Now I've got time to get used to him and play with him quite a bit more. He's an incredibly effective player, and I definitely recommend him. 90 pace, 85 shot, 82 dribbling, very good at free kicks and penalties. I would recommend using him on the 35-yard plus range, because you can get lots of power, dip it over the wall and dipping it over the goalkeeper into the back of the net. So definitely recommend him. He's about 7.8k in this formation now, and definitely a really good player if you're looking for a strong right midfielder. He can also defend pretty well as well, even though it says 60, but he can easily knock off any player off the ball because he's so big and strong. Left midfielder, we have Nene. Now, I don't really see Nene being used in a lot of Brazilian teams, but I think he's a fantastic player on the game, with maybe not his pace being brilliant, but the rest of his game really does cater for that loss. 86 dribbling, he's got 4-star skills, so you'll be able to beat any player quite easily. 80 shot again, which is very good for a left midfielder, and he's very good within the 35-yard range at free kicks. He's also my penalty taker for the team, and is incredibly effective from there. He scores quite a lot of penalties, and yeah, free kicks as well he's excellent at. And we can overlap with Marcelo, which is really quite handy. Just get Marcelo bombing around the outside of Nene, and then Marcelo can whip the ball into the box, which is incredibly effective if you can pull that off. Nene is about 5.7k now to buy on the auction in this formation. These are just rough prices, like I said. But yeah, that's Nene for you. Moving on to the attacking midfielder position, we have Kaká. Again, another player that I don't really see a lot of in Brazilian teams, but he's incredibly cheap and incredibly effective. Maybe his pace isn't brilliant, but you can see on his other stats they are very consistent. Now, he supplies some really nice passes to our strikers, which I'll come on to in a minute, and an incredibly good player. About 900 coins you can get him for now, which is really quite handy and helpful. Definitely recommend him if you don't have him already. Up front we have Pato. I prefer the AC Milan Pato because he's got a little bit better stats than the Corinthians Pato. 89 pace and whatnot, and he's incredibly effective. He's scored about 96 goals for my team now, which is really good. So yeah, I'll definitely recommend him. Very good finisher, 4-star skills as well, so you can beat anyone really. He used to be 5-star skill in FIFA 12. I'm not really sure why they took him down to 4 stars, but that's EA for you there. But moving on to our next striker position, we have Neymar, the main focal point of the team. 91 pace, 91 dribbling, 79 shot. A very good player and looks very promising for the future as well in real life football. So yeah, 5-star skills, incredible player. He's out of position here, left forward, as you can see. I'm playing him in this left striker position here, but it says he's in a bad position, but it really doesn't matter, to be honest. You can't get him in a striker position. You can get him in a striker position, but he's in form, and the in-form version of Neymar is around 900k, which is probably a little bit out of a lot of people's price ranges, but if you've got the money, I'll definitely recommend the in-form version. but the standard Neymar works equally as well. Again, another little flaw in Neymar's game is that he lacks a bit in the old fitness department, but that's not too much of a worry if you can keep him nice and fit. And again, with the Brazilians, they don't really get injured very much, which is quite helpful. But yeah, I'll definitely recommend him for the team. I don't know how many goals he scored. It says somewhere down there. I'm not going to read it out, but that's Neymar for you. That is my Brazilian squad. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment and subscribe. The total cost of this team was 171k. Now in the current price market, when I bought this team, it probably costed me about 250k to 300k. But you know, I definitely recommend this to anybody. My bench is, let's just get rid of there. Lucio, Carlos Alberto, Wellington, Felipe Melo, Rafinha, Robinho, Rafael, and I've got Leonardo Damião on the reserves along with Felipe Luis and some other guys that I do not ever use. I don't really use the subs, to be honest, only if I'm in tough game situations, and I sometimes bring on Wellington or Robinho, but the other guys don't really get used. But yeah, this is an excellent team. Definitely probably the best set of players you could get for Ultimate Team. They work very well. I've tried other squads like Spanish squads and Barclays Premier League ones, and they're not as good as the Brazilians. So yeah, definitely recommend this. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.